Hey everybody, welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. And of course, the big news of the week, Pro Tour Hour of Devastation. If you were sleeping under a rock all weekend, well, Paulo Vitor Dama Rosa took home the money in Kyoto with Mono Red, a deck that absolutely crushed the field. In fact, if you look at the entire top 8, 5 of the decks were Mono Red. One of them was pretty much the same deck with a little bit of black thrown in. 2 of them were different. So is this just the way the metagame is right now? Can anything dethrone Mono Red, or are we just in for months and months and months of the same deck over and over again? I actually think the tide is already turning against Mono Red. If you take a look at the results from a standard PTQ that fired on Magic Online over the weekend, you'll see there's not a single copy of Mono Red in the top 8. So what's there instead? Well, it's a lot of green and black. It's green-black Constrictor, green-black Energy, mono-black Zombies, mono-black Eldrazi, and red-green Ram. See, Mono Red is always one of those decks that's really good if your opponent isn't prepared to beat it. But if the field is full of it, you can deal with it with things like black's efficient removal spells, green's efficient high-toughness, low-drop creatures. And that's what's happening right now. So as you make your transactions on Magic Online going forward, keep that in mind. Let's move on to Gaining Ground, the segment where we discuss the cards that gained the most value this week. And in Standard, you might be expecting Hazard because of how well Mono Red did all weekend at the Pro Tour, but you'd be wrong. Actually, the card that gained the most value in Standard this week was Liliana the Last Hope, which gained 10 tickets, up from 38 to 48. The second place finisher this week? Another black card that's really good against Mono Red, Kalitas Trader of Get, which jumped from 13 tickets up to 18. This is a great example of how fast the market really moves on Magic Online. The deck that blew everyone out of the water at the Pro Tour, not the deck everybody wants right now. What people want? The deck that does well against it. In Modern, things were pretty quiet, and that makes sense. We were all focused on Standard, we were watching the Pro Tour, we weren't thinking very much about Modern, which is probably why the 2 highest gainers of the week were Eidolon of the Great Revel and Vexing Devil, which both gained about 2 tickets each. So Modern Burn did actually have a pretty high finish last week at the Star City Games Team Constructed Open, which could explain part of the game. But really, I think it just comes down to the fact that Mono Red looked really good on camera in Standard, and some people decided to build it in Modern. That sort of thing happens in Magic. It's not really based on raw numbers, but on emotion. And so, yeah, these cards are probably not bad buys right now, but I don't expect they're going to surge in price anytime soon. As you might expect, the Pro Tour led to some pretty big losers in Standard, and none were bigger than Torrential Gearhulk, which dropped 5 tickets from 24 down to 19. Wandering Fumarole didn't really do much better. It dropped about 4 tickets from 10 down to 6. This, of course, has all the world to do with the fact that Blue-Red Control was a bust at the Pro Tour, and I haven't even been really seeing any Blue-Red strategies bandied about as ways to beat the decks that did do well at the Pro Tour. Here's the thing though, Control decks always take longer to develop than aggro decks, and Torrential Gearhulk is definitely going to be a part of whatever control strategy is developed, even if it has to wait until after rotation. So here's the thing, I'm not buying in yet. And that's because I don't see a Torrential Gearhulk on the horizon. I don't see any short-term profit here. But I would be really, really surprised if at some point, while it's still legal in Standard, Torrential Gearhulk doesn't end up above 20 again. A control deck will be developed, it will use the card, and if that thing ends up below 10 at some point between now and rotation, I'm gonna buy a bunch of them. In Modern, the biggest loser was Karn Liberated, which dropped 5 tickets from 39 down to about 34. And this does make sense. There was a Star City Games Classic in Atlanta last weekend, and there weren't any copies of Tron, either Eldrazi Tron or Classic Tron, in the top 16. And Karn doesn't really see play in any other decks. So if Tron is dropping off, so will Karn. Now, is this a short-term blip in the metagame, or is it indicative of some larger trend? I'm really not sure. The one thing I do know is that Tron has existed in some form or another in the Modern metagame since Modern was created. So while I'm not going to start picking these things up right now, I'm going to wait till the price drops a little lower, I'm still kind of bullish long-term. I got Coraline here, which means it's time for the sneak of the week. And this week, the sneak is Dark Depths. Back in May, that card was just 23 tickets, now it's up to almost 40. And I wouldn't be surprised if it actually ends up as one of the most expensive cards in Legacy. From the Vault lore, which gave it a reprint in paper, not really all that popular on Magic Online, those from the vault sets never really are, and the lands is doing really well in the format right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going up. Now I finish off each week by taking a look at some of the cards on the MTGO Traders hot list. These are the cards that MTGO Traders is paying a little bit extra for because they're in high demand. And you can find it yourself at mtgotraders.com/hotlist or on Magic Online at hotlistbot or hotlistbot2. Since we just finished Pro Tour Hour of Devastation, I thought I'd put the spotlight on Hour of Devastation. And the most expensive card from that set on the hot list is Crested Sunmare. If you're not a believer that this white mythic is going to be part of the answer to mono red, you can cash out now for 7 tickets apiece. Another interesting card on the list, Champion of Wits. It was a really popular pre-Pro Tour breakout card. It didn't do a whole lot at the Pro Tour. You can get out now if you'd like for 3 1/3 tickets apiece. A Braid, a power uncommon from the set, you can sell for 1.22 tickets each. And if you've got any scavenger grounds kicking around that you don't want, they're worth about a ticket each on the hot list. That's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There's a ton of great stuff on here. Go check it out.